Hello and welcome back to another episode of Survival Sealab. I am Operandus. On today's episode, we're going to be working on some alternatives for gathering obsidian, and then also working on our animal farm, getting that all set up and automated. It'll require building a new building for ourselves most likely, and then getting it all set up. So we got lots to do. Let's get going here. So before we get started here, I want to show off that we have a tesseract now. I got this thing set up here. Big reactor is our output, and it's already full, so I can probably go shut off the big reactor for now. I should probably have a way of like computer craft or something to turn this off pretty easily, but we'll turn this off for now. It is filling up with power, so it just filled up here. So I'll turn it off for now, and the heat will diminish, and we aren't consuming a lot of fuel. We have one fuel rod. We have probably a few ingots of this cyanite. Oh, not even one right now. So yeah, this tesseract is sending it over to my other tesseract there, and it's all working out quite nicely. So we have wireless power, and I can tap into that network wherever I need to. But my idea was that I'll have a buffer here of stored power, and then I'll be taking out energy from the other side as needed, I think, with a second tesseract. So we'll need a couple more tesseracts to distribute power to other buildings. We'll need a few more tesseracts, I think. Or maybe I could have tesseracts set up so there's like one power thing for filling these all, and then we'll have tesseracts on top for each of the buildings, maybe. That might be a cool way of doing this. Anyways, let's take a look at down here. My second thing I worked on in off time here. This is a obsidian generator for myself. I'm using an igneous extruder, and we're using our ender tank from last time. I made a second one for water, and these two together are making obsidian for us constantly. And down here I put a pulverizer so we can make some hardened glass as we need it. So pretty handy to have. And we have this tesseract. This energy cell is not hooked up to it, to the tesseract network, but I could eventually get that going. Or I could move this stuff over here. I don't know where I'm going to put this building. This still feels like a temporary situation here because it is kind of like in the middle of my way now. We might have to move these around again and figure something else out. And this doesn't look super great right now, so we'll have to figure that out later. Let's head over here. What I want to do today is work on making a new building for our animals. Now, I think I don't want to have a separate building for this. I think I might just do an annex onto this building. So what I think I want to put it over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like right here would be the doorway, maybe. That probably would work. Yeah, so it'll be about half the size of this building mostly. So we'll have a nice L-shaped building instead of this long, narrow building. It'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna have to get building, making some materials for that. Let's see, I made this building out of stone. This is just stone, right? Stone bricks. Okay, so stone bricks and tile peridot. So I have to figure out how to make that again. And then we'll have everything we need to extend this out just a little bit, and then we'll start setting up an animal farm for ourselves. To begin our annex for our little animal farm here, I decided I would just lay down a big dirt path of what I wanted the place to be. I needed it pretty big because I wanted a few different pens for animals and a few different farms. So I needed a nice large area with a big dirt block in the middle. With the walls done, I decided to move on to the accents. I didn't know the spacing on these exactly. I didn't have any frame in mind for that. So I just tried to space them out would look good and made it nice and even so the walls would work well with the roof. With the accents completed, I decided to move on to the roof. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted the roof to be at this point. I just wanted kind of an arching shape, but not quite a dome. And it certainly didn't need to be as high as the previous dome was. So the shape I finally went with was kind of an arch that ran into a little flat part that then connected to the overall dome here. It didn't need to be nearly as high as the previous dome because we didn't have any trees or anything like that in this building. I couldn't quite figure out how I wanted the corners to work here exactly, so I tried a few different things until I was finally happy with the design. And then I moved on to the other half of the building. Knowing my pattern, I just replicated it on the other side. Now I wasn't quite sure how I wanted this to connect to the previous building. I decided I would actually cut the wall open and not have a doorway, but actually make it kind of a big open wall, have it be more of a part of the original room. Moving to the interior, I laid down the rest of the dirt floor that we'll need, and then cleaned up a bunch of the blocks that were hanging out from my build. To remove the water, I decided to give the mechanized sponge another chance here. So you'll see me laying down the sponges, connecting the mechanized sponges of power, and giving it a few moments, then Look at that. It's all gone that quickly. Just a little bit of cleanup to do, laying down some sponges to soak up the rest of the water. I lit the area and then laid down some grass blocks so the grass starts growing in here, and then opened up the doorway a little bit. Finally, I came back and added some pens in for our animals, making a nice 5x5 area because that's the area of effect for the machines that we're going to be using. Finally, I came back outside and had one more thing to add on before we finished up this build. All right, so we've got our base extended here with a nice animal farm addition onto our agriculture building here, our agricultural wing. That's basically what this whole thing is for our Sealab. And we're gonna have these nice little pens here for animals to be stored in and then slaughtered. We'll have cows over here and then chickens over here to gather their feathers and stuff like that. And we won't be able to gather eggs, but we'll be breeding them using seeds. To make seeds, I'm gonna be having like a small automatic farm over here, like a harvester and a planter. Same setup as over there, just a very small one. A 3x3 probably is all I'll do. And that'll supply us with wheat for our cows and with seeds for our chickens, hopefully. And the other thing we'll need to do is make some machines to make this work. So we don't have any machines made right now. So what I'm gonna be using is the MineFactory Reloaded mod. And this has lots of different machines for farming in it. And just to show you what I'm gonna be doing here. So we'll need to make a planter, a harvester. These things we've made before for our previous build. For our other farm. Not too complicated, just the plastic sheets, which I should be able to make now. I have a couple of rubber trees set up over here so we can make some plastic. And we need to make a harvester then, so we can harvest the wheat, which is also not very expensive. Could take some Invar axe, which we have plenty of Invar. The other things we need to make are the new ones. We need to make a breeder. This requires a golden apple. Ooh, hopefully I have an apple someplace around here. We'll need a couple apples actually, so we'll have to dig through my stuff here. Maybe head back to the overworld, grab a couple apples, but worst case scenario, that's not too bad. We'll make a breeder, we'll make a grinder to kill the animals, and then we'll also make a chronotyper to separate the new animals from the old animals and keep the circle of life going, the circle of life and death here on our farm. And the other thing we'll need to make is a rancher. That's right, a rancher is what we'll need to make for our sheep. And this will harvest their wool for ourselves, and that should be pretty good. We won't need to breed those things because the wool is replenishable. They'll just eat the grass and they'll replenish it on their own. So we'll just keep that thing going. We'll set up a tesseract system over here, supplying with power, and also supplying the items back to our main wing here, and that'll eventually feed into our sorting system, into our ME system down the road once we have it built. So that's the big plan here. I'm gonna get building this stuff because it's gonna take a little bit of time. As I said, I might not have all the materials I need, especially when it comes to the breeder. I don't know about the golden apple. We might need to have to go back to the surface and grab that. Not too big a deal. I could plant a few oak trees down here and just see if I can get lucky and grab one. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get a few pieces of wood then. That might be the best way of handling this. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. We'll get a couple golden apples. We'll make a couple breeders. We'll make a couple chronotypers and a couple grinders, and that should be pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna get building that stuff, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I got everything made. I got all kinds of machines here made. Now it's a matter of putting it all together. So as I said, I'm going to be breeding animals here and then transporting them over to here to be killed. So in order to do this, we have to set up a breeder as the first one. That'll go right here. And then that'll flow over to here, and this will be where we kill them. I'll put the killing machine here facing that direction here, and then we need to put the output. Oh god, we gotta think about outputs here. Boy. That's gonna flow into this then, taking up another spot because it comes out the back. There's so many elements of this I have to think about. I think if we put it, we'll just put it one ahead there, so it'll be sticking out of the room. There's a little spot that can survive in, but that'll be okay. So let's get our machines out of our pack here and set one of these bad boys up. Let's grab everything we'll need out of here. Fluid ducts, item ducts, tanks. Gotta just grab it all. All right, so first things first, we need to put down our grinder, and we'll put a grinder down right here. Like I said, it's gonna flow out the back, and that will need an item duct. That means we'll set that up afterwards. We need to put a breeder here, and a breeder is this one, and the breeder will have to have a, oh, that's facing the wrong direction. I need to go the other direction from it. So I need to go from this way, and there might be some water down here I have to deal with. Oh good, I didn't have to deal with any right there, so that's good. So the breeder will face this direction, and we'll have a pipe flowing into that for wheat. This will be the cow area over here. So we'll have pipe flowing in that for wheat, and then power also, and then we'll also need just power and wheat, I think is all we'll need for that one. This one will need, for the grinder, we'll need power, materials. I wonder if it's better off to do it on the back side here. I was gonna think of doing it on the front, but I guess doing it on the back makes more sense. So let's do this and put it over here and put it on the back side of the room. And yeah, this will work. Okay, this will work better. Yeah, this will work fine. Because it has a range of 5. Oh, not the breeder. We need another. Oh, my pack is full now. Come on. Seriously, always something. Let's see. Where did it go? Breeder, grinder. That's what we want. Grinder is gonna face this way. And then we need to have a way to pull him through, and we'll use this chronotyper here. And we'll pop that through here. We'll have to figure out which way is which. I think this is the way it goes. The purple is the output, I think. So basically it's gonna pull animals from this side and plop them on this side, and we'll be moving babies. So we're gonna breed the animals together. Any babies that are over there within range of this thing, which is the entire area over here, will get pulled over to this side, and then they'll get killed by this thing once they become of age, because this thing does not kill baby animals, because baby animals don't drop anything for you. So let's get this set up on the same setup on the other side here, and then we'll start thinking about how we want to power it. All right, so I got the same thing set up for the other side here. I added another little hole over here because this is where we'll be putting sheep. It's a little bit smaller pen because I will have fewer sheep, or fewer like need for sheep, I think. We're just having some type of wool harvesting situation going on over here. Will be good. This harvest is a 5x5 as well, and this is 5 deep, so it'll get this whole area. It's only 4 wide though, to make a little bit more room to walk between the pens. I think I need to be facing this other direction though for this, so I need to be over here. Oh, there's some water coming through there. Let's plop this down here. Yes, so the output comes out the back here, so we'll have to throw an item duct on the back here. Power will come in from the bottom, and that should be good. I think, no, we don't want the harvester. We want the rancher. That's what I'm thinking of. There it is. So I grab rancher, and same thing here. The output comes out the back, and you can tell it what you want to get, but we just want to get everything. Okay, so that's gonna be good. And then the other thing we'll want to do is actually want to put a rancher here as well. There we go, yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this room is we're gonna catch some squids and put them in here. And with squids, when you use a rancher on squids, it actually will produce ink sacs for you. And it won't kill the squids, so they should just be able to live in there. We'll put like maybe 2 or 3 in there, and we should have a lot of ink. For when we want to do like mistcraft and that kind of thing, we'll need ink for that. So having a nice steady supply of that will always be helpful. So anyways, now let's get our power figured out here. Oh, we need 1 more area set up for, oh boy, we need 2 more areas. We need this area set up for storage. It's gonna be the center area here. We'll figure out a way to put down, okay, so we need to put power down here. And so let's put our tesseract down here. And I already have a network set up for it, and it's gonna be the farm power network. And so it's set up there. It should be receiving power to our machines. I'll bring the power down from below it. We also will need to get power or items into this, because I'm gonna use this to draw the items back to our main area over to there. And so we'll have leather and beef, and we'll have feathers, and we'll have a bunch of wool, all going to this one area here. So I'm gonna have a chest here where everything's getting drawn into, and I'll pull out of the chest then into this, I think. We'll bring everything from everything from everywhere into one central chest. Now I don't necessarily need a lot of beef or leather or anything like that. We do have a supply of it right now. Feathers and that kind of thing we'll need for aspects, I believe, for Thaumcraft down the road. That's pretty much all I got it right now, but we don't necessarily need that at the moment. Feathers are good for other things too, certain recipes, but not necessarily a whole lot of useful stuff. But chicken is always nice to have for food, and then wool we'll need for all kinds of stuff. So we definitely want to make sure that's set up. And mob essence, that's the other thing too, was when we kill these things with their grinders, we gain mob essence. That's another important aspect of this whole operation. That's part of the reason I'm doing this, is so we can have like auto spawners eventually with using that mob essence up. So it would probably make sense to put the mob essence display tanks over here. I grabbed some of these blocks here to make it look nice. Let's see how these look. I don't want to make an actual MFR, or I don't want to make an actual railcraft tank here. I just want to make it look like one, kind of, using cheaper blocks than iron blocks that they require. So this is actually going to look like this. It's going to have the same kind of look as the iron tanks do, but it's actually going to be filled with open blocks. And I'll put those inside of here, and it should work the exact same way, except we can pump out of any side we want with these and pump into any side we want. It'll work nicely. I hope I have enough. I think I planned this out right. And so now this whole thing looks like separate tanks, but it's actually one giant tank. When I pump into here, it's gonna fill up the whole entire thing like that. And it's actually got 16 tanks per block, and I put, 12 blocks into there, something like that. So it's got plenty of room for storage for our purposes here. Anyways, let's figure out how, let's set up some power for this thing, get it all set up with how we want it to be. Oh, we also need to set up the planter and the harvester over here. I didn't make another Xeno Reliquaries Lily of Fertility. I do probably not have the means at the moment. I need to get a few more lily pads in order to do that. I don't know if I have enough. But we will get that set up over here as well so that the wheat grows a little bit faster. It keeps our whole breeding system going. This doesn't necessarily be super efficient because I don't have a lot of big plans for this. But it needs to just work how I want it to work. So we'll put this is going to do a 3x3 only. We'll make it a nice small system here. It'll pump the wheat out of here. And we'll have power going into this as well. And the seeds and stuff coming out of this into another chest, which it'll flow back into this and down over to our guys here and over here. So we'll have to set up with item ducts that. So let's get this all set up with power, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, so I have my energy tesseract set up here. We have a farm power network. We'll take it over here wirelessly, obviously, and we got the tesseract here. Now this bad boy, the only one I didn't get set up with was the ink farm here. I need to set that up with power and with a item duct, but we'll do that quickly on camera here. So this is the farm power network. It's set to send items and receive power, and we can turn fluids off actually, because we're gonna keep the fluids in this bad boy over here. It's all one tank, even though it's got multi-sections to it. It's all technically gonna flow as one tank once we all get to this setup. And then one last thing we need to do is set this up with power. So let's put a power thing on here. And we'll get the items going downstairs too. So we got it like this. Oop, that's a little bit more than I needed there. We'll fix that in a second. We'll need items coming off the back of this. Going in this pipe right here. There should be one I can link into right below us here actually. So let's dig down. I'll show you how all these bad boys are wired up here. You can see the pipes are coming off just a little bit. I tried to hide as much of it as I could, but it's still showing above ground a little bit. It's unavoidable in some spots. Let's put some dirt over this here quick. And I think these are pretty good. So I have these set up. So this will harvest wheat and it'll harvest seeds. The wheat will come off this direction and go into the cow farm. The seeds will come off this direction and go back into the planter. And then this is set to round robin. So half of them will go into the planter here. And then half of them will go into this breeder over here. This breeder is set to, yep, it's got energy, everything's got power. Make sure everything's got power. Oh, we need to get power to these things. I did not power those yet, but that's okay because we're not going to be doing those right away because we need to get a few animals in there before we start really killing them off. So this one's set with power. I just didn't do this one yet. So there's a couple things we need to fix still. I'll worry about that in a little while, but let's get this set up downstairs. I'll show you what we have going on down below here. It's pretty, well, it's a little messy, but we'll deal with that. I think it's as good as it can get. Okay, so we'll connect the power then, coming off of here. Oh God, we got water outside still we got to deal with. Let's get first of all, let's reclaim these guys here because they don't need to be there. And that's good. Okay, throw this down here for now and clean up the water that way. A temporary situation, but we'll figure that out later. Anyways, let's put the redstone conduit out of here and get this into the main power network, which is all set up. Oh God. Get it all set up over here like this. All right, cool. That actually works pretty well. The second one coming off of here, we can run actually right into this pipe right here. We'll bring it home actually. So it's all set up to go into this little, let's fly up there. That did not connect. Why did that not connect? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? There we go. And now we can connect this right into this pipe here, and this will all connect with our main area here. So that's pretty good. Let's take you over here and show you what we got going on. So this is the ranchers over here collecting wool, taking it out and putting it into the chest. This is all one network here. I need to connect this pipe up over here. Looks like I didn't do that yet. So we'll get those connected, but otherwise everything is good except for the little chronotyper in there. We have to figure that out. And this is the pipes for, we gotta take this one, we've got to replace this one. A couple one I just took out for mobility reasons. Now it's all set up to go. So the mob essence is gonna come out of here and go into the tank upstairs here. The power is being supplied for everything except for the one chronotyper over there. Item ducts are flowing where they need to flow. It should be pretty good. So next thing we need to do is set up our animals. And as I mentioned, I'm going to actually disconnect this chronotyper here because we don't have too many cows right now. So I want that chronotyper working itself. It might try to work itself a little bit. We'll have to just breed a couple to deal with it initially here. Let's dig a hole and fly up out of here. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Precision flying. All right, let's replace this. And see if there's any other holes we can fix. I don't think there really is. There's one here. That's about it. This has power now. The rancher, awesome. We'll just get some squids for that. I don't have any collected at the moment. Oh, we need to replace that water in there too. All right, well, I'm gonna crack it open and replace that water in there then. Made a little bit of a mess there because with the water downstairs, but oh, the roof is leaking. All right, so what do we need? We need our Pokeballs. That's right, we need our, go back to our chest over here where we're storing everything. Let's throw everything into our ender pouch for now that we don't need at the moment. Let's grab this stuff here and we'll set it all up here. So we need to grab some seeds and grab some wheat and we'll get going here. All right, so we got our animals, we got our seeds, and we got our wheat. Let's try this out here. So let's put the cows where they need to go. Let's put the chickens where they need to go. Chickens will be over here. And let's put a couple of them in there. Now, I don't think they can jump up. They can jump a little bit, but I don't think they can jump up here. These are reusable, so we'll hang on to those. Let's throw some seeds into the breeder right away, make sure that's working. We'll just throw half of these in there. Let's just throw a couple in there, just to get them breeding. And this should breed right in front of it once it idles through. Oops. Now it's gonna idle through, and they're in love. And it's gonna work. They're kissing, and there's our baby chicken. Okay, cool, so that works. Let's do the cows then and make sure this is all set up to go. We'll have the wheat flowing into the cow area. We have actually 4 cows right now. So we'll put a couple cows down. And we'll put another one here. Let's just do 2 for now. In case this goes horribly wrong, we'll want to have a backup just in case. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's get down in here and we'll throw some wheat into here. Let's just throw it all in there. And this should breed them together once it's done idling. Oh, there it goes, sure enough. And baby's on the way. All right, cool, we got babies, and this chronotyper should actually pull him through. He's set to babies. Yes, moving babies, and he's gonna idle for a moment. Actually, he just pulled it through. There we go. So he's on this side now. There we go. There's a little hole here still. Oh God. Well, our cow is lost to the ages now. He's down below. He's the Phantom of the Opera at this point, it looks like. Well, we won't see if he gets killed because we have to wait for him to grow up first anyways. I'll go downstairs and take care of him once he's old enough to provide us something. These guys should not be moving over yet. We'll let this one grow up and then it'll breed together with the parents, and well, that's just the incestuous kind of thing we got going on here, unfortunately. Let's throw a couple sheep in here, and we're not gonna breed these guys together just yet. We'll breed these guys together later. But my idea here is to have a bunch of different colored sheep in here, so that when we get wool, we'll get a bunch of different colored wool. So actually it's working, the rancher is working, and this chest right here should be filling up the wool momentarily. Now these item ducts are super slow. They're not the best right now. We can't upgrade these to better item ducts, but it requires glowstone. So I really want to set up a efficient use of glowstone before we do that. And can I put a lever onto this here? Let's see here. Let's put a lever onto the glass. No, won't work. I might have to put a block there. Will that work? Nope. All right, so might need to put a servo on here because I can't put a lever in. So let's just put a servo in there and it's installed. Let's calibrate that to say redstone control ignored, and it should pull out as it gets squid ink. Okay, so that's pretty much set up. We'll come back and revisit this thing next episode to make sure everything's running smoothly. If there's any flaws, I'll let you know. We can put this planter together here and put it with some seeds, and it should do its thing. Put some water in the middle here. Once I get a bucket, we'll throw some water in the middle there, and it should be good to go. Anyways, I've been Modi. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Survival Sealab. Our farm is pretty much ready to go here, it looks like. We just gotta let some animals breed up a little bit so we get a supply of animals going. And then we should be all set to have a good farm here, a good system for collecting mob essence. And we don't have any mob essence yet because we haven't killed anything yet, but that'll be changing before next episode, I'm sure. Anyways, I've been Modi. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.